It is my singular honor and privilege to witness this very important town hall organized by the News Central Television today in Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State, to the glory of the people and government of Borno State. The insurgency has triggered acute humanitarian and post-displacement crisis with devastating social and economic impact on our population, further deepening fragility and poverty in the Northeast sub-region. Before 2015, about 22 local government areas were under the control of the insurgents. Out of about 4 or 5 major roads that we have within Borno State, only one major road was accessible, which is Maiduguri to Kano. All other roads were besieged by Boko Haram. We harvested a total number of, more than 100,000 orphans and widows as at 2016. These are official figures. The non-official figures are quite more than this. About 5,000 classrooms were burnt by Boko Haram. About 250 health centers were destroyed by Boko Haram. About 1,600 water distribution points were destroyed by Boko Haram. About 800 municipal buildings were destroyed by Boko Haram, comprising of traditional rulers' houses, police stations, prisons, amongst others. About 700 energy distribution lines were destroyed. But I'm glad to stand here today and inform this other August gathering that as from 2015 to date, a lot has been achieved. I'm happy to note that I don't think you can identify one single person that can talk negatively about our recovery efforts. I want to categorize the achievement of the administration from 2015 to date under 3 headings. 1, under peace building, social cohesion, and stability. Under peace building, all these 22 local government areas that were controlled by Boko Haram before 2015 were now completely under the state actors. All of these roads were now reopened. The road from Maiduguri to Damboa was reopened, although that person from Chibok said it has a limited access. Yes, we agree, but we are working on it, inshallah. The road from Maiduguri to Bama, Goza was reopened. The road from Maiduguri, Gambalungala was reopened. I'm not here to eulogize my humble self, but I want to commend the federal government of Nigeria. I want to commend the government of Borno State, and indeed the resilient people of Borno State for all these achievements. Under the peace building, social cohesion and stability, thousands of people of Borno State have received livelihood support, both from governmental and non-governmental organizations. Under the reconstruction, rehabilitation, and resettlement, nothing fewer than about 300,000 homes were rehabilitated and reconstructed, as well as constructed. Many communities were resettled back. In addition to this, close to more than 2 million IDPs were resettled back home. In Maiduguri Metropolitan Council alone, 12 official IDP camps were closed. Hitherto, Maiduguri was full of IDP camps, littered all over. But government has taken decisive steps in order to close the IDP camps because of the following reasons. There is an increasing prostitution in the IDP camps. There is increasing drug abuse in the IDP camps. And then we felt it's no longer sustainable for the federal government of Nigeria and government of Nigeria to keep people in the IDP camps because of dwindling resources from the developing partners as well as from the IDPs. So the only solution we have is to resettle them in a dignified manner and provide them with means of livelihood. Under this program, we have resettled over 2 million people in Borno State. Then in the areas of education and health, social services, we have done well. From 2015 to date, more than 200 mega schools were built in Borno State. I believe you understood with what we mean by mega schools. Schools that have carrying capacity of nothing less than 2,000. And what we did is not only providing the infrastructure, we recruited teachers. The Commissioner for Education and indeed other people that are here can bear witness that we recruited more than 30,000 teachers. We trained all teachers, and then we implemented minimum wage to all teachers across all levels in Borno State. We built more than 200 health centers. We equipped the health centers. And what matters is not only the provision of the infrastructures, but the human resources for health were recruited. Nothing less than 2,000 health personnel was recruited in Borno State. Then, in the area of technical and professional education, because these are very important, we want to address the root causes of the insurgency, which are not limited to endemic poverty, pervasive illiteracy, amongst others. That's why Borno State government decided to establish more vocational training centers with state-of-the-art facilities that I don't think any state in Nigeria has at us now. Currently, our vocational training centers are doing well, and many have graduated, and we have provided start-up kits to all the graduates. Above all, what about the out-of-school children? No, we have taken out this from the street, nothing less than 1 million children. The statistics is there. The World Bank and the United Nations can give testimony to what I said. We built almost high Islamic colleges in all 27 local government areas of Borno State, apart from about 5 local government areas that are yet to witness this program. About 22 to 23 local governments have seen the establishment of high Islamic colleges in Borno State. Why did we establish high Islamic colleges? In order to take off the children from the streets. What we intend to do in the high Islamic colleges are as follows: to provide intensive numeracy to the pupils, intensive literacy, digital literacy, and above all, vocational training. But most importantly, coming down to security, I said it all. Yes, it is not yet Uhuru. But compared to what we had before, to our current situation, the line of demarcation is very distinct and cannot be crossed. We have seen sea changes, and I believe people of Borno State have appreciated the support of the federal government and indeed the support of the armed forces and that of the Borno State government in this direction. The small boy just came and spoke very well. We thank you very much about the Chibok girls. Yes, Chibok girls were abducted. Efforts are being made by the government to rescue them. But this same school where the Chibok girls were abducted was closed for academic activities for about 10 years. Until last 4 years, this school was reopened. I hope there is a change. Government Girls Secondary School Chibok is now operating in a full capacity. And they have even written road work. The road, isn't it? Work. Is it where? Inside Chibok. And then the only road that links between Chibok and Domboa was completed. This road was not completed was under construction for the last 30 years. Mega school was constructed in Balala. The general hospital in Chibok was closed for about 9 years. But the general hospital in Chibok was reopened. I want to assure you that while we have done a lot, but a lot has to be done again. I want to assure you that government of Borno State, under my distinguished leadership, will work with the federal government of Nigeria in order to address some of the lingering challenges that we are facing currently. The last but not the least, recently we have started witnessing some rising cases of insecurity. I acknowledge it. We were the one that raised alarm and informed the federal government that this is what has been happening in Borno State. But we thank God. We commend the federal government of Nigeria and we commend the armed forces for the proactive measures that they have so far taken in addressing the rising cases of insecurity, not only in Borno State, but indeed in the northeastern sub-region. Many dozens were killed within the last 1 month. A lot of military equipment were deployed to Borno State. A lot of personnel were deployed to Borno State. And they are working hard in order to ensure that Borno State regained its lost glory in terms of security. Let me use this opportunity to commend the armed forces, all other security agencies, and most importantly, our gallant civilian JTF hunters and vigilantes for providing the needed support in order to protect the lives and properties in Borno State. Let me also answer the question that has been, the request that has been made by my junior brother from Chibok. Thank you very much for this request. And currently, federal government is doing everything possible to establish forest security service. Plans are underway, trainings have started, and then all these officers and men that will serve under the forest security service were recruited from the localities, vetted by the Directorate of the State SS, and inshallah, very soon, these young men and women will be deployed to their respective local government areas with a view to complementing the efforts of the Nigerian armed forces. So I'm glad to come here and witness this very important occasion. I've listened to almost all the presentations from individuals that are here, cutting across all stratas from the civil society organizations, led by my humble teacher, Professor Mwazu, and then former NLC chairman, Abiso, and others. And I want to convey my deepest appreciation to all the presenters. You have done well because you have said the truth. A lot has happened in Borno State, but no any single person in Nigeria or in Borno State can come out openly and say that meaningful progress has not been achieved in Borno State. Not only in terms of security, but also in terms of education, in terms of health, in terms of poverty eradication, in terms of reconstruction, rehabilitation, and resettlement. And I want to assure you that inshallah, we shall do more to the government and people of Borno State. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Excellency.
Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We do this only when we get the chance to do it. Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Just for 1 minute. Please be seated. Your Excellency, we have spent some time to move around Maiduguri, and as journalists, we have spent some time to speak with people who are locals within Maiduguri, as well as those people who are not within Maiduguri, who came in yesterday to attend this event. The question they kept raising, or the issue they kept raising, is that yes, the roads have been cleared, but there's still a certain amount of worry about their capacity to move from one area to another. An example, if you want to go from Maiduguri to Biu, they're saying you may have to go through another state to be able to get to Biu. And there are other places like that. What can we do to get the federal government, because it is beyond your power from what we hear, what can we do to get the federal government, especially the Nigerian army and the military, to ensure that there's a level of security on the roads that's been opened, that people can travel at certain time? What can we do as citizens that you will advise the people, the good people of Borno State, to do? If it is beyond your power to make that happen, what can they do to force the hand of the federal government and the military to look after them in such a way that they can travel freely?
I believe change cannot happen in a day. I've given you the historical perspectives of what has happened in Borno from 2009 to date. And I've given you the insights of the progress that has been made from 2015 to date. And I believe you can deduce from my own, from my own remarks that there is a remarkable improvement. Unless if you don't want to hear this. The road from Maiduguri to Domboa that you have been mentioning was closed for about 10 years. Last 1 year, apart from the last 6 months, about last 16 months, for about 9 months, we have never witnessed one single IED explosion along Maiduguri-Domboa Road until recently. So we are not saying no. Government has a lot of competing demands. And the road from Maiduguri to Biu, as you are saying, especially from Damaturu to Biu, was closed hitherto. And it's now reopened. I'm aware of the current challenges that we are facing, but be rest assured that the government of Borno State, the federal government, are working closely to ensure that these challenges are resolved within the shortest possible time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.